So help me God.
In his inaugural address, U.S. President Donald Trump insisted the country's foreign policy should be governed by one principle.
From this day forward, it's going to be only America first. America first. Every decision on trade, on taxes, on immigration, on foreign affairs.
In his first month, the president has begun to implement changes to decades-old traditions and international relationships. Trump recently welcomed Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu to the White House, a show of unity marking a new era in U.S.-Israel relations, which were strained under President Barack Obama. As a candidate, Trump promised to move the U.S. Embassy from Tel Aviv to Jerusalem and seemed sympathetic to West Bank settlements. However, as president, Trump indicated that he's looking at moving the embassy and urged Israel to hold back on settlement expansions. At a joint press conference, Trump also eased away from the United States' long-standing support for a two-state solution between the Israelis and the Palestinians.
I'm looking at two-state and one-state, and I like the one that both parties like.
Trump vowed to keep Iran from obtaining nuclear weapons, criticizing the 2015 nuclear deal between Tehran and 6 world powers as a really bad deal. In February, Trump imposed new sanctions on Tehran in response to recent ballistic missile tests.
And I will do more to prevent Iran from ever developing, ever, a nuclear weapon.
Trump repeatedly suggests warmer relations with Russia would be a good idea, despite its ties to Iran and accusations Russia meddled with the 2016 U.S. election. That has unnerved some U.S. lawmakers and European allies. Over the weekend in Brussels, U.S. Vice President Mike Pence tried to reassure European partners.
The United States will continue to hold Russia accountable. At President Trump's direction, we will also search in new ways for new common ground with Russia, which President Trump believes can be found.
Trump often criticized China when campaigning for president, accusing it of being a currency manipulator.
They haven't played by the rules, and I know it's time that they're going to start.
He promised to impose tariffs on Chinese imports and change trade policies. So far, the Trump administration has been quiet on those issues, instead shifting to a geopolitical focus. Trump agreed to honor the One China policy regarding Taiwan, but the U.S. continues to question China's claim over vast swaths of the South China Sea. A U.S. Navy aircraft carrier strike group recently began routine operations in the South China Sea. This despite a warning from China not to interfere with Chinese sovereignty in the area.
I think there's an impulse in the Trump administration to be tougher on China, and particularly on the South China Sea. But it's not clear from statements we've heard so far whether there is a clear policy.
Only weeks into the new administration, other nations are bracing for major changes in U.S. relations as Donald Trump continues to shape and define what his America First policy means. Jesusemen, VOA News, Washington.